And what else is popping?
Winnie Nwagi is what's popping. I love this woman. And she pummed a fan, like punched him in the face.
Assaulted, you mean? I saw the video.
For touching her thighs.
That was...
It was very hilarious. So this is what happened. She was at a recent concert. And we all know Winnie Nwagi for doing this. This is not the first time that she has done it. But anyway, she was performing and then it started like this. A gentleman gets his phone and tries to film between her thighs. She slaps his phone away. She walks away. Another man grabs her thigh. And then she comes closer to him and punches him. I don't know, the head or the face, but could see the motion of her hand, hitting against something. And then she goes on to stop the performance. And she, told the man exactly how she felt. And she's like, you can't come here and start touching me like as though I'm a prostitute. And then she also told him to respect himself and also respect the woman that he was at the concert with. She's like, you come here, you disrespect me, and you're also disrespecting your woman.
Don't come here to touch my thighs, okay? You're not my man. What the fuck? Respect yourself. That's why I'm dressed. This is a performing outfit.
But anyway, there was a whole thing, and of course a lot of people are not surprised that she did this because it's not the first time. And she actually went on a whole, I think it was about 1 minute long. She went on a rant and she told people, you come here to be entertained, not to touch me. I am not a prostitute. I am a performer. You're not my man. Do not touch me. You come here to enjoy the show, not to touch me. And I agree with her. Don't be disrespectful.
Well, okay, so it's a tad bit hypocritical, I must say.
How?
Because, one thing she can't ever claim is to be respected. She certainly does not present herself in a way that would warrant any sort of respect. Of course, respect physical boundaries. That I can get behind.
Okay.
If she's
and that is what she's asking
on stage
for.
And she wishes to not be touched, then do not touch
her.
But at the same time, to be saying, "Oh, I'm not some Malaya, this, that," but that's exactly how you present. You
just went on to contradict yourself. Respect physical boundaries. She's not asking you to kneel down for her. She's not asking you to respect her like you would respect your mother or your clothed
What is
girlfriend.
she asking for?
She's asking you not to touch her. Period.
Yeah, that's fine.
You don't have to respect me.
That's fine, but what about the guy who...
You will respect me.
How about
the
guy who went in with his camera like this? So she approached the edge of the stage, and I think she was, wiggling her waist and
she was not wiggling.
Gyrating.
She was actually just walking.
Whatever she was doing, right?
Yeah.
She was dancing close to the edge of the stage, and so she walks up to the crowd that's there, and then one guy is like, he gets his camera and he really starts trying to zoom into the whole thing because clearly he's trying to get a crotch shot.
Yes,
okay?
That is also disrespectful.
Which is quite common in a lot of these concerts, and I think that's what made her really angry, and then she just slapped the phone out of his hand.
Yes, as she should have.
But isn't that if he were serious, he could sue her.
For what? And if she's also serious, she can also sue him.
Do you know what I mean?
She can also sue him.
Do you agree that it works both ways? Because no matter how disrespected you feel, it's still no license to assault somebody. So, for example, if I say
she was assaulted. It is assault.
I'm just talking about the guy who was
video somebody without their permission. It's a crime in this country, right?
I do not think so. I think it's I don't think it's a crime to film someone in public. I don't think. I think it is
without their permission.
It is a crime to.
Oh my God! Can we Google this?
Seriously?
In the whatever act? What is it called?
Computer Misuse Act. Get out! Really? Let's check.
I have time today.
You can't be at a concert and film somebody?
Is it legal to film someone without permission in Uganda.
Let's see what it says.
Because I remember when this came out, and people were saying, actually journalists had this whole issue, and they were like, then how are we going to be able to do investigative documentaries and stories if we're supposed to ask people's permission to record them? Have you gotten something?
So I'm looking at the act right here. So I'm just gonna see if I can really quickly find any reference to
I'm also trying
filming.
to find some reference here.
And don't worry, if you're listening, we're just gonna take a second to find this.
Aha! It is here. I think I found something. This is from the Observer. The Observer says, you also, and this is in part, you also risk 10 years in prison if you record or take someone's photo without his or her approval. If you find someone easing himself or herself along the road according to the draft legislation, you should seek permission before you either record or take that photo.
So here's what I don't understand, yeah?
So it was dubbed the controversial Computer Misuse Amendment Bill that was introduced in Parliament, and that was on July 19th, 2022 by Mohammed Nsereko.
I know that, but I think it's unenforceable because I am yet to hear of a case where someone has been successfully prosecuted for that. Listen, because if you are at...
That doesn't mean it is not illegal.
Just a minute. If you are at a concert, think of it. Everyone has their phone out. Everyone is filming the event or themselves at the event. So, like, if you want to talk about never film anyone with consent, I mean, that people do it by the millions daily already.
See, there are some concerts, for instance, Blankets and Wine. When you're buying a ticket, it comes with the disclaimer that when you purchase this ticket and when you're at the grounds for the event, that means you are consenting to pictures being taken of you and videos, and they can be used anywhere and anyhow.
The reason that's different is because
there are some concerts that do not put that disclaimer. Hence, I can sue you, Fatboy.
Well, the reason for that is, and in particular for Blankets and Wine, a lot of that footage will be used for promotional purposes. So it's kind of like akin to a model release form.
Exactly.
So that if in future I appear in promotional videos for Blankets and Wine and it shows me there dancing and raving, I can't say, hey, you used me in your video, so pay me, because by buying the ticket, I've consented to being filmed and to be used in those promotions.
Exactly. But if it's other people.
Yeah, but if it's an individual person, just an individual person.
If it is an individual person,
so let's
I can sue you. Why are you posting me on your social media?
Wait a minute. So let's say
I did not agree to this.
So, for example, I saw you posting a video of yourself dancing at a bar recently. You were on stage with some musicians.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
You remember that?
Yes, I was at that.
Did you seek consent from each and every member of that?
Yes.
You did not.
Actually, yes. No, yes, I did. Because I was there. I was the host. I was the host and MC with the band. And we agreed. I brought a photographer, and the photographer actually did the whole thing, like documented the whole thing, and actually it's the photographer who used my phone to take that picture. So yes, they are aware. So those did consent.
I didn't say they are not aware. I said, did they consent?
Yes, they did.
Because when Winnie Nwagi was at that stage, essentially she attacked the guy that was closest to her, but there were people behind that dude.
She slapped that man's phone because he was taking a picture of her crotch.
So
the people behind
does it have to be a crotch?
Of her crotch.
Does it have to be a crotch?
And she addressed it.
Just from a legal perspective, it wouldn't.
That is sexual assault.
If we're to go, listen. If we are to go with the specifics of the law as it is written, the Misuse Act, it wouldn't matter that it's the crotch or the face or the arm or the leg. It's just as long as it's any part of your body.
Yes, she had a problem with that.
So in other words,
in particular, she's taking a picture
everyone
of her crotch.
Everyone in the concert hall is a criminal.
Sexual harassment.
By that argument,
she had a problem with that man in particular, and she addressed it. Because if she had an issue with that, then she would have also slapped the phone with the other person who was having. So
why was she dressed that way?
She is a performer. When you go to a museum, they say, look, but do not what? Touch. Please.
He didn't touch. He was filming.
That is sexual assault.
I don't think so.
I'm talking about the guy who
I don't think so. If you want to come to a stage and wiggle and twist your waist and thrust your crotch in my face,
she was not thrusting,
and I happen to have my phone out and I'm filming the performance.
Stop diverting and making up your own stories. We are going to play this video. Yes, I'm sure you did not see it properly.
I saw her walking up to the edge of the stage.
To the edge of the stage. She was not wiggling. She was not gyrating.
And the guy was
walking, and then he gets his phone and puts it at her crotch. That is sexual assault. And I hope his phone broke to tiny pieces of dust.
The thing is, and it's going to keep happening over and over again. And obviously, I'm not here to say to Winnie she can't dress how she wants. It's just, part of being an adult is accepting consequences for your actions and choices.
And also part of being an adult is being respectful and minding your boundaries. I remember a time Beyonce was at a concert and this guy touched her. He, I think, slapped her butt. He touched her. She stopped the concert, asked for security, and that man was, I don't know how he was lifted, but he was carried out of that stadium.
I just think that the society...
Let's be respectful in the society.
I think let's try and be human. I feel like we're going into a very dangerous place. So I was at a party on Friday. And so obviously at the party there were people I hadn't seen in a while, some acquaintances. And so, obviously, having not seen me for some time, they were quite surprised at the way I look now, my appearance, my physique. And, some sort of wanted to touch me to just feel how my body feels like, because they remember me being a fat guy. So like, wow, look at your arms. And they were touching my body, touching my chest, touching my stomach. Now, by the strictest interpretation of the law, all these would qualify as assaults because they didn't ask me if they could touch me, but they touched me anyway. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You wanted to be touched.
I did not.
Then why didn't you say don't touch me?
My point is, here's my point. My point is, I think
you just said don't touch me.
I think part of social, I say, I don't want to use the word etiquette, but I just think social politics requires us to just be a bit flexible in how we interact with people, how people interact with us. And so that I wouldn't rush to take these people to court for sexual assault because they touched my body. And
you wanted to be touched. If you didn't want to be touched,
oh my gosh,
excuse me, don't touch me.
If I were to say that about a woman that got touched, all hell would break loose.
Don't touch me. A lot of women say no, but you don't listen. And that is why Trey Songz is being sued for $10 million right now, because he was at a pool party and actually there is a video. He just came up from behind this woman and dropped her
There are
bikini
times
top.
but the thing is,
no, you say
my
no.
point is there are times when both women and men sometimes don't say no. Listen to me. Out of decorum, out of just you don't want to cause a ruckus. Now, by the strictest interpretation of the law, have you been violated? Perhaps. But my question is this: do you want to live in a world where each and every potential awkward interaction leads to a lawsuit or a criminal prosecution?
Frankly, if you have time, please pursue it.
It makes no sense.
Because that is why we have laws in place to ensure order, to ensure people keep their hands to themselves, to ensure perverts stay in their weird perverted world. No one is allowed to touch you without your consent. No one.
So I should go sue these people at the party.
People. Go sue them, please, if you have time. Yes, you touched me. I did not like it, and I'm very serious right now.
All right,
Do not let people touch you. Keep your hands to yourself, please. Keep your hands to yourself.
Now back to the real world.
Yes.
But thank you for that update, and for those who will be going to future Winnie Nwagi shows
and any other artist show, keep your hands to yourself.
I think it'll ultimately be the fans to decide how they feel about her reaction. If they feel respectful, then probably they'll continue to support her and will then continue to show respect for her. There is a risk of potentially offending fans, and obviously that's a decision for her to make.
What, offending fans? Because I don't want you to touch me?
They can, you see, the manner in which the manner in which you express that sentiment and the way you conduct yourself might make people say, you know what, who the hell do you think you are?
I am exactly who I think I am.
That's what I'm saying.
Winnie Nwagi is exactly who she thinks she is.
So what I'm saying is you have to be aware of the fact that you could alienate fans. And if that's a price you're willing to pay, for some people, it's well worth to do that. because they value their self-respect and all that stuff more.
Don't touch people. And even
Right?
as a media personality, as Sarah, if you come across me in public, just do not throw yourself at me, because I do not want to be touched.
And by the
all
way,
right?
and
Don't-
I've
do
seen-
not touch
I've seen-
me, because you're in love with what I say, not my body. Okay?
I'm sure there are those who are in love with both, but that's
You just,
neither here nor there.
You're not my man.
But
Don't touch me.
I have seen, I have seen plenty of videos that try to demonstrate the double standards. I saw like a montage, and they were just showing people in clubs and how prevalent women touching men is. It's like women don't. It's like men, at least now, are a lot more careful about it because women are quick to sue you and call you all kinds of things. But men are like, if you're a good-looking guy or if you're in shape, you walk into a club, girls are literally grabbing you, throwing themselves at you, touching you
But
up,
this is-
rubbing you up, grinding you up without any request for permission or your consent. They just do it.
Sue all of them and tell them to stop touching you. I don't care if it's a man or if it's a woman, if it's a child. If you don't want to be touched, you don't want to be touched. I had an interview with Joshua Baraka, and he did say he does not like being touched. He says he only wants to be touched by people he would want to touch him. Like, say, for instance, if you're the girlfriend, or maybe you're his mom and you're hugging him, or whatever case. But he does not like to be touched. And I respect that and I appreciate that, because even like when I first met him, I did not, for me, I am, some of us were raised really well. I said, hello, Joshua.
Do you not think a little too highly
I
of
was
yourself?
like, hello, Joshua.
Some might get that
And
sneaking
even-
suspicion.
And even like when we took a picture, I asked him, because this was after he's like, he does not like to be touched. So I told him, is it okay if I stand next to you? I asked for his permission. He's like, yeah, sure. So please, it's not hard. Don't touch people. If you don't know them, don't touch people. If you're not cool like that, don't touch. Keep your hands to yourself.
I'm not.
There was a time where people lost hands because they were touching people they're not supposed to be touching.
I just think the world is getting a bit too crazy, and it's not like what you're saying has no merit, but I think we need to be a bit more flexible. Otherwise, it's just going to kill social distraction. Because
Is that so?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Because
we're going to
now,
increase sexual harassment and assault.
but you see, but my point is, and now that you bring up sexual harassment, so let's say workplace sexual harassment, it's now at the point where women are the ones complaining that men avoid them in the workplace. That they listen to me, and this is not trivial. You don't just shrug and say, yeah, hell yeah. Thing is, women feel that they're being denied mentorship opportunities because, for example, the senior male managers are reluctant to be in private spaces with these female juniors out of fear of being potentially accused of sexual harassment. Because now, if even a compliment is sexual harassment.
Fatboy.
A hug, a touch on the shoulder is sexual
Fatboy.
harassment. And
To
these
mentor me,
accusations.
must you touch me?
these-
Is that how
these-
information is transferring
my
from
point,
me to you?
My
through
point.
touch?
No, my point is that two things. First of all, it need not even be touch. It's what you say to her. If you say to a woman in a New York office, let's say, super liberal, super feminist place, and you say, "Oh, you look amazing. That dress looks really nice on you." For a lot of women in that community, that's a violation. That's assault.
Then don't do it. Don't say it.
But you see what I'm saying? So a lot of guys are like, look, I don't know the rules. I don't know what today or tomorrow will be deemed assault or harassment. Therefore, I'm just going to steer clear. So when company workers are invited to form groups to collaborate on projects, the guys don't want to deal with the ladies.
First of all,
When women have questions about projects, the guys don't want to help.
but Fatboy,
When they want
please,
mentorship, the guys don't want to give it, and the women are complaining now.
to mentor me, you do not have to touch me. To
The
answer
rules
my
are not
question, you
clear,
don't have
so
to
guys are playing it
just
safe.
keep your hands to yourself.
But you see,
don't touch
That's
people.
okay. So
So
Sarah,
you do not want to work with me because I don't want
Yeah.
I don't want you to touch me?
did you?
Is that how information? Is this Avatar? Is it Avatar when they had those
And another
connecting tentacles? This is not that.
There's three
Then
things
touch
here.
me.
First thing being, it need not even be touch for it to be deemed assault. It could just be a compliment that's just taken
Why are
the
you
wrong way.
complimenting me?
That's number one. Number two, it need not even be true. That like someone could just claim it. So guys are like, I don't even want to risk being seen in the same vicinity where I don't have an alibi, to where 10 years from today she can turn around and say I was inappropriate with her.
I think you're I think a lot of
but
men
it's
are just
happening.
pushing. You do not have
We
to.
are now paranoid.
You do not have to. If our job, first of all, for instance, you and I work together in this space, you don't have to touch me for us to work together. You do not have to touch me to mentor me. You do not have to touch me to give me feedback on a project or whatever it is I've been doing. You don't have to touch me. You do not have to compliment how I look. I don't need that because it doesn't help my career development, does it? Oh, Sarah, you look pretty today. And then what? What I would like to hear is, Sarah, great job, and I am thinking of promoting you. You don't have to touch me. You do not have to compliment me. Frankly, the only person I care to get compliments from is probably my best friend, my boyfriend, and that's it. And I think I think many women would only care for compliments.
I just have one question.
We would only care for compliments from people that we find attractive.
I just have one question to ask you. Are you really not seeing any way in which it's unfair, potentially unfair to guys?
So it's unfair that I'm not allowing you to touch me.
But
that's where the unfairness is.
So two things. Like
I'm
I
not
said,
allowing you to touch me because I don't want you to touch me. So
listen
that
to
is
me.
unfair.
I already said you need not even touch. You need not even touch.
So it's unfair because I won't let you compliment me because I do not want a compliment from you.
I also said you need not even compliment. Someone could make it up even. Because a lot of...
Now that is different. That is different. If people are making it up, then people tell lies every day, and sometimes people tell awful lies. But here is what I'm talking about.
Do you remember what happened to? Hang on a second. Do you remember what happened?
Unsolicited touch and unsolicited compliments.
Listen to me. One time
has nothing to do with my career.
We were discussing the Cuba Gooding thing. Remember what we were discussing?
Yes.
When he's been trying to make a comeback following his fallout from those lawsuits, those assault cases. Now, I think for the first one, he may have conceded to kissing the woman. But then there was the second case in which a woman claimed that he touched her breast or something. And as it turns out, and he maintains this, and it's also what we see in the video, really he's sort of trying to reach over her to I think to tap somebody or something like that. And then your arm could even just accidentally brush up against someone. You're not even aware you've done it. And she's like, oh my gosh, I've been fondled, I've been groped, I've been assaulted. Men are terrified, Sarah.
You apologize.
What do you expect us to
apologize and keep it pushing?
You don't think Cuba apologized?
And he's also, that is not only the only reason why
she still sued him.
That is not the only reason why he's in trouble. I think it's also because he used to batter his wife. So he has many problems. And using him as an example in this situation is not even helping you plead your case.
It is.
It's really
at least the second one.
Because
the second
he
one,
has even way more bigger problems.
So my point
is that, gentlemen, if your life does not depend on it, do not touch this person. Okay, if you're not drowning, don't reach out to touch someone. Leave them alone.
I must warn you though, as women, you guys,
that's the thing.
You guys have to be
to yourself.
So
keep your hands to yourself. Keep your compliments
you know
to
what?
yourself.
Actually, I realize I'm wasting my time because I'm saying is in women's best interest. I'm thinking, hey, I do think you benefit from being in the company of men, from mentorship, from collaborations.
Only
and
if
yes,
they
listen.
us.
And yes, there can be awkward encounters, but I think there's different ways of approaching it than constantly and always assuming the worst. I saw a video of a woman being assaulted on the streets. I think it was a video from India. And people were just walking past, right? And so feminists from India were circulating the video saying, do you see how women are oppressed in India? They're being battered on the streets and no one cares. Do you know what leads to that? It's when you are trying to be helpful and you can potentially get into trouble for it. So you're going to create a scenario in which men are simply just completely and literally hands off.
I think this is creating
like they stop caring about you guys.
I think this is
they leave you to your own devices. They don't help you. They don't assist you. They don't mentor you.
This is what I'm saying. I think this is leading to a situation where men have felt entitled for a very long time and now they are lashing out. In your example, lashing out like little tiny brats who you have said that who you have told
Shaming
that they cannot
language.
do something. So now they are like, I'm not your friend anymore. I'm not going to talk to you. That is how you're behaving. What I'm trying to say
and it's
is
justified.
that
It's justified, 100%.
No, it's not. What I'm
is.
trying to say, Fatboy, just like how I come to work and you don't touch me and you do not compliment me, those two things don't have to work. Those two things don't have to happen for me to, get mentorship in the workplace. So you're saying women should allow to be touched and then get mentored. So if you're not going to be allowed to be touched, then we cannot mentor you.
Why do you keep saying? Why do you
because you are giving that example.
No.
You are giving
Why do you
that
keep
example.
saying? Why do you keep bringing up touch? And when I've
you
said,
are bringing up that example.
I will say now for the fourth time.
You need up.
For the fourth time, I'm saying you need not even touch the person.
Exactly.
It
So
can be a
what
touch.
is your compliment going to do for me, Fatboy?
So a compliment.
It is not increasing my salary in the bank. It is not
You look
increasing
nice today.
my development in my career. It is not doing that. Your compliment is worthless to me in the workplace. Honest.
You know
God.
what? It's too much
I
headache.
only
So
care for
it's too much headache. So
from men who
I
I am
support.
sexually attracted to and who I am dating. I
So-
don't need it
so what
from
I
my
do-
colleagues. I don't need it from my boss. I don't even need it from my brother.
So what
really
I do,
don't.
so what I'm going to do is this. I am going to advise and encourage men to just keep your distance. They're saying we're cowards, that we're picking our ball and running away,
Nah.
kicking over the toys. They're saying
Nah.
we're doing all these childish things. Well, so be it. Stay
Because you
safe,
want to
because
touch a woman?
what you don't want is 15 years from now,
Because
some
you
lady
want to touch a woman
going
without
on
her
Twitter,
consent?
some lady going on
Because
Twitter
you
and
want to
saying,
compliment a woman without her consent?
when I used to work in this bank in 2015, this dude walked up to me and said, my hair looks nice, and right now he is working here, so please let's cancel him and get him fired. To avoid that, just quit interacting with him as much as is humanly possible.
You're weaponizing this
Don't
so
even
that
say
you're
hello.
You are weaponizing this so that you can allow some men to continue sexually
No,
harassing
I don't want them to
and
harass you.
assaulting women.
I don't want them to harass
yes, you.
you.
Are.
I don't want
yes,
them to
you
touch
are.
you. Listen,
because what does touch and
quote me.
complimenting me have
Quote
to
me.
do with my workplace
Nothing.
environment?
Nothing.
Exactly.
So
then
I don't
why
want.
is it a
So
problem
please,
for you?
So don't touch women. Don't compliment women.
Be professional and
Don't
keep
even-
your hands to yourself.
Don't even talk to them unless it's absolutely necessary. Keep all communication written.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Actually,
and then
if you
when they
keep it that way,
complain,
yes.
when they complain that the patriarchy is oppressing them because they're keeping women out of all these
The
spaces,
patriarchy
you
is
tell them,
oppressing women
you
because
tell
you
them
want to sexually
they
harass them, and
asked
that is
for
for
it.
that is men
You tell
who
them
have
they
this
asked
mentality.
for it.
It's because
And congratulate
you're
them
putting
for
a
it.
condition. You're putting a condition. Oh, to get mentorship and promotion and any benefits at work, you
Nope.
have to allow me to touch you. You have to
Nope.
allow me to compliment
You should not be
yes,
touched.
you are. Yes,
You should
are
not be
doing
touched.
that. Yes, you are, and that is predatory behavior.
do you have trouble hearing?
That is what
I
I'm
have
saying.
said do not touch women.
Yes, and please
So
do
we
not
agree.
die women and do not deny women of their rights and
You see, now you
a
don't-
space to actually
don't get to
propel
call the
in
shots
their
now.
career.
You don't get to call-
because you cannot sexually harass a woman, so she's not going to
No,
get.
it's because-
she's not going to get career benefits.
I'm saying because-
she's not going to be allowed to propel. She's not going to be allowed to develop.
Because
Is that
men
exactly
can't-
what you're saying?
What I'm
No, it's
exactly
because
saying-
Men,
let me talk.
Men like
What
you,
I'm exactly
some men
saying-
like you do not have the emotional maturity and intelligence to actually separate professionalism with being a whole social person. Keep your hands to yourself. Be professional. You don't need to touch a woman to be able to work with her. You don't have to. Your job does not require that.
Enough.
You have a blue
My
collar
turn.
job and you want to be touching women
My turn.
and complimenting them for what?
My
How
turn.
does it help her?
My turn.
Don't do that.
My turn now. What I'm exactly saying is, you see, we're all entitled to how we want to operate, and we're all entitled to bodily autonomy. So I will
Yeah.
agree with Sarah to not touch them, to not compliment them, do not interact with them in ways that are not specifically necessary for the work that you have to do. Ideally, for a workplace to be creative
You
and
must
exciting
touch women
and
and
fun.
compliment them.
Let me
That is what
finish.
Fatboy
Let me
is
finish.
saying.
There tends to be some room required for friendly
assault
social
and
interaction,
harassment.
which may not be strictly related to work. But if the women are telling us that should you dare do that, do not be surprised if one day they turn around and say you made them feel uncomfortable, or what you may or may not have said was inappropriate. and so they felt offended and harassed. You have no guarantee that that won't happen either today or 10 years from now, even after you've long forgotten ever having met this person. They'll go on Twitter and call you a harasser. Best thing to do is
That's
to just
exactly what you are.
The best thing to do is to just keep your distance completely. Just hang with your boys, be in your little club.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, what's up, what's up, what's
And
up, what's up.
touch each other.
Send emails to the ladies and keep it at that.
We actually prefer it that way. Send us emails.
That's what they're saying.
But do not deny us of our
And then they're
opportunities
gonna give interviews.
that we do deserve.
And then
do
they're
not
gonna
deny
give
us of
interviews.
opportunities we do deserve. Me, I would go.
Can you control
really
that?
well.
How are you gonna
without
control
you.
that?
What?
How are you going to control if, let's say, imagine if it's a technical field, right? Like a tech company, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's this team of engineers and they're huddled together in their little boys club and they're doing something. And as a female engineer, you're like, wow, these guys seem to be doing something really cool.
What are they doing that is
I'd like
cool?
to be like maybe they're collaborating on a project or a product that is innovative.
All right.
And maybe as a female colleague, you're observing them and you're like, wow, I would like to be included in what they're doing. If they were to say, no thanks, we're good, just the three of us are good, you have no right to complain. And I'm not even talking about employment opportunities. I'm not even saying that don't hire women. Hire them.
Okay.
But if
in
within
this
the organization,
activity that these male engineers are doing, are they touching themselves like the Macarena?
maybe
Are they
they could be.
touching each other?
They could be.
That's what they're doing.
They could
so
be.
that's what engineering
They could
entails.
be.
Let engineers tell us and confirm. Engineers,
They could be
do you
tapping
touch
themselves.
each other like the Macarena? Do you do that? Do you do that? Let us know.
Maybe they do it for
Let
inspiration.
us know. I think we are done here. That's all I had for you. What's popping?
Well, thank you very much, Sarah. And hey, let's keep the conversation going. Leave your thoughts in the comments. It's always fun to have these conversations. We are living in interesting times indeed. And do keep listening to The Fatboy Show on RX Radio.